Hello.
Hello.
What is your name and what do you do for a living?
I am Blaster 1221 or Phillip, whichever people prefer to call me. And I am unemployed, but I am a volunteer at a railroad and their head photographer.
Okay. Let's see what Faith has decided to ask you.
Ooh boy.
We got a 6. Which is... What is your dream career?
Can we re-roll? Because even the career that I've settled on, I'm not like a dream career. I don't know what my dream career is.
Okay, then what are you interested in?
Trains. Yep, that is just the long and short of it. I'm interested in trains, but at the same time, I'm always hesitant to get too far with them, at least in the big corporations, because I don't think I need to explain Amtrak's bad history. I don't even need to explain like Norfolk Southern or even CSX to a point. So there's so much info on that online that if you really want to learn about it, go ahead and learn about it. Listen to the Norfolk Southern song. It's the most ironic song ever.
Okay. So it's mainly because of bad reputation.
It's when it comes to heritage lines, I'm more comfortable.
Okay.
I mean, they still got a lot of guidelines set by the government and everything, but they are a lot kinder. They're more reasonable. They're not going to run you to death. And overall, it's usually just more friendly.
Okay. It's building heritage lines that you would love to be a part of.
That I would love to be part of, not ones I'm currently part of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not currently.
In America, maybe the Cass Scenic in West Virginia, but maybe even the Mount Washington Cog Railway. But there's not many in America that I'm really interested in. In the UK, Wales, Scotland, there are almost too many to count, really. Of course, I love the Talclyn, I love the Chorus, the Festiniog. Little narrow gauge railways, I do love. And which is convenient because of your shirt. Even the small little heritage line in Dollywood, Tennessee would also, I guess, be considered in the American heritage lines. It's not really a heritage line, it's a theme park, but it's close enough in my opinion.
Okay. Staying on the tracks of trains.
Okay.
What made you love trains?
As far as I can remember, even before you were born, I was always introduced to introduced to trains pretty early on. First time I went to the railroad that I currently volunteer at was 2 years old. So I've been going there my entire life. And yeah, I mean, like a lot of train fans from young age, a lot of them started with Thomas, and I did too. But I quickly grew I appreciate Thomas. I still do. I still love the older seasons, but I've grown to appreciate just real-life locomotives in general, because especially steam locomotives, they are amazing pieces of machinery. And many people will tell you they are the closest thing that humans have ever made, or maybe will ever made, to artificial life. They drink, they eat, they have mood swings, and I mean, I know they're metal, but I'm pretty sure they'll feel pain if something happens. Metal does creak for a reason, so.
Okay. When it comes to trains, what are probably some of the biggest misconceptions of trains? Especially since, at least in my lifetime, I have seen more diesels and stuff like that than the steam and more of the historical
to be
ones.
fair, I have not seen much in steam either. That's just unfortunately because of where we live. It's Indiana. We do have steam engines here. Most of them aren't running. But common misconceptions. Okay, dieselization was rushed out in early as the 30s was when the first diesels were starting out, maybe early 40s, but definitely around that time frame. And by the 50s and 60s, by the 50s, all of America was dieselized. And in Britain, it was in the 60s, which a lot of people think, well, they rushed them out because they were much better than the steam engines, and each have their own advantages. Steam locomotives are more powerful. Even today, steam locomotives are much more powerful. However, diesel locomotives are easier to connect, they're cleaner, and they're cheaper to operate. Of course, also even modern day electrics, they're the cleanest obviously, but also I think that they're actually more technologically dangerous, I can't say dangerous, complicated than steam locomotives. Steam locomotives, I think, are actually easier to maintain than a diesel, even though steam engines easier to maintain than a modern diesel or an electric engine. Even though steam engines are definitely more dangerous. I mean, it's a pressurized boiler on wheels. Of course, it's dangerous.
Okay. Just in general things, what part of steam history, I would say, is probably the most fascinating to tell someone who may be jumping into this?
I think it really just depends on what kind of engine you've run across, because every locomotive is different in some ways. There are some that look very similar, obviously. There's some that are painted the exact same. I mean, hell, if you look at a Black 5 in the UK, you've seen one, you've seen them all, pretty much.
Indiana for you.
Indiana. Take the train. Okay. But every engine is different. They all have their own stories. And if you look into the history of a locomotive, you will find a different history about every single one of them. Some of them will be very basic. Some of them will span multiple books. Some of them will have 16 or so different documentaries made about them. Flying Scotsman. But yeah, each engine has its own story. And I don't think diesels have that to the same extent. Diesels definitely do have stories, and some of them are very interesting. But sometimes they live the exact same life as the same members of their class. Like, one engine might go to the exact same place with a sibling engine. They will run the exact same life. And that's just the way things are nowadays. We bulk build much more than we did in steam days. And we bulked back then, mind you, so.
Okay. When it comes to your current volunteer job,
yeah,
how do you get that?
Okay, so first off, to volunteer at a heritage railroad or railway, you've got a lot of things to consider. What skills you can bring to the table, how it will benefit yourself and the railroad, if it is feasible for you to do it, a lot of little stuff like that. The qualifications for the railroad I volunteer at is you have to pay $20 for a yearly long subscription, because it's a volunteer organization, so they have to make money somehow. And ticket sales can only do so much. You can get a lifetime membership, which I have done, and that's like $200 for the railroad I work at, so I went ahead and did that because I'm going to be here for the long run. There's volunteer training. Some railroads will do it year-round. Mine only has a few weekends a year in the early months of the year to train new volunteers. You have to pass a couple tests. You have to meet qualifications for certain jobs, because you're not going to start off driving an engine. You're just not. And you also have to understand that even though this is a privately owned organization, that it still gets government funding, and it is a railroad. These are not toys. These are machines bigger than some people's houses. So, or cars if you're a narrow gauge. So, but yeah, it's all different for every railroad, but everybody's got their own thing. For my personal job as a photographer, I the only qualifications I really need is to have done the volunteer training, which I have done, and to be a member. That's the only thing I need for the me to work for the photography. And I work with the media team there, obviously. But and there's other minor things, like if you're just cleaning the shops, that you're, again, a membership in the volunteer training is enough. If you're in track maintenance, you have to pass your track safety test, and of course, working on the trains, you have that test as well. And if you're working to become a conductor or an engineer, you have to have enough hours. You start as student brakeman, you work your way up. So yeah, it depends on your position and what you want to do. I mean, if you want to just work the gift shop during the holidays, then you don't even need to really be a member for that, as long as you have a member vouch for you. So.
Okay. So for those basically who are wanting to maybe volunteer for a railway, any form of railway that offers volunteer, just training, have the qualifications, and have the passion.
That's pretty much it. And you have to try and be respectful, obviously, because this is still a company. It is a very reasonable company, and they will try their best to be good by you, but you have to be good by them as well, because you're representing them. So anything bad you do will look bad on them.
I see.
And there have been incidents in the past on different heritage lines that kind of go into that. Sometimes it's just staying on the going too close to the tracks. That's the most common one, to be honest.
Okay. When it comes to, let's say, because this just popped in my head for some reason, railway disasters.
Yes.
Like the one in Ohio from a few months back.
I actually don't know about that one.
Really?
I have stayed out of more current events recently. I love historical train documentaries and stuff, and that includes accident reports, which there are a ton of them. And I'm pretty sure we'll probably end up talking about a few of them. But the incidents are more rare than you think. I mean, obviously they're more common than plane crashes, let's be honest. But at the same time, driving an automobile to work is a lot more dangerous than taking the train. At least statistically. Heck, walking is more dangerous. But that's just the society we live in. It's a lot of people think, well, if a plane crashes or a train derails, this is a serious issue. And it is a serious issue. But they're actually more rare. And usually it can be solved based on multiple criteria. Like, obviously, there are times the railroads are at fault. Mainly that's where, like, general upkeep and maintenance and proper training. That stuff is an employee error. That is all on the railroad, on the employees. It happens. But at the same time, like, I can't remember the year, but there was an incident with the city of San Francisco train, and that was actually sabotage. And they never caught the people that did it. We just know that they moved a rail on a bridge, and the train crashed. Many people died. It was one of the earliest diesel incidents, actually.
Okay, I'm going to quickly just talk about the Ohio.
Okay.
Even though you may find better and more update info, because I'm kind of out of the loop with more update info. Basically, a train derailed with toxic chemicals because they were going from a factory to factory.
Yeah.
And it hit right outside of a community.
You might have been too young to remember this, but that happened here.
Really?
That happened not far away from us. That happened outside the... okay, we're in Indianapolis, Indiana, by the way. That happened outside the Wayne Township Library.
Really?
Yeah, and the library got shut down for a couple months while they cleaned up. It was a bad accident. I believe that one was a runaway train, but I don't know much info on that one, unfortunately. It's kind of been lost to time, that one. I can't even really tell you a good year for it, to be honest. I think 2009, maybe?
2009, I would have been in young elementary school, so I probably would have heard something, but not remember.
Yeah.
One of those situations.
It was right it was rather late 2000s, early 2010s. It was in the very, like a few year time gap, but I can't remember the exact year.
All right. For anyone who may be watching who is experts of finding random crap, there's a mission for you.
I would like to know more about that incident, to be honest. I've heard it was a runaway, but that is not here or there, because it would have had to run away from Avon Yards, which that's actually really more concerning, to be honest. Avon Yards is our biggest rail hub here in Indiana, so...
Yeah. With that many tracks and stuff, I'm just nervous.
Yeah.
If a runaway did happen there.
Yeah.
It will collect a lot of stuff, and then there's a lot of shops that happen that's like weight bail.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, why? Granted, they should be only going like 3-4 miles per hour at most.
Yeah. It depends on your yard. Usually, I mean, the line I work on, the yard speed limit is 5 miles an hour, but then again, our line's top speed is 15. So
it's a take it as you will.
It is a take it as you will. Some people will, I think most yards will not go over 15, but it's here or there.
Okay. So, my last general question on trains before I will go to a different topic, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
Is a simple, how do I say this? What is your most interesting fact about trains?
Most interesting fact about trains?
Could be steam, diesel, what have you.
This is a tough question. I guess I could say that I think that it was given up on too early, steam engines. Up until the 60s, early 60s, Britain was still making steam locomotives, and they were some of the most up-to-date models ever made. A lot of those engines are still heavily used in Britain today for the heritage lines. But the fact of the matter is that steam engines are still being built. They're not like regular. They're usually made by trusts and groups that really want to preserve or rebuild part of history that's been lost. But take the A1 Pacific Trust. They built Peppercorn A1, which none of them survived into preservation. They called it Tornado. It was completed in 2008. It was completed in 2008. It is the most up-to-date steam engine currently. They're they're trying to outdo themselves right now. But Tornado has had many adventures. It's one of the only steam engines allowed to go over 100 nowadays. It's actually performed rescue operations in the UK. It saved a Eurostar, I believe. When the power went out on the overhead lines, they sent Tornado, which was just ending its season, and they went, send it out, go rescue the train. And that's incredible. And heck, even the restored Big Boy locomotive, which is still mostly on its original technology, it's been used in multiple rescue missions in just this year alone. It's saved 2 or 3 stalled trains this year alone. And Big Boy obviously is the biggest steam engine ever built, but that just goes to show that they are still advantage is to use them, and I think that the world kind of gave up on them too soon. I get it, diesel was the newest thing, but I think that steam probably had at least another 5-10 years in them, and obviously diesel back then was so primitive that they honestly needed that extra 10 years. So, I mean, that's my opinion of it. People will disagree. People will agree. That's just how it is. There's a lot of passionate rail fans out there.
But to be fair, that's with pretty much anything. Not everyone's going to agree.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
Yeah, it's just like the debate of which is the best steam locomotive. Everyone's going to give you a different answer. So.
Okay. With the photography.
Yeah.
You could, well, in theory, choose any of the positions or always hunt for any positions. Why did photography you chose?
Well, at the time, I was basically a jack of all trades there. I didn't really do any work on the trains themselves. I wasn't qualified to, and I didn't have time to really make a set schedule to get down there. So I did a lot of cleaning. I did some track maintenance, which I was able to do for that. Worked a few events. I was actually even an announcer for an event, and I helped run the gift shop, cleaning the station, stuff like that. I did a little bit of everything I could. Unfortunately, we went through a rough patch where we lost a lot of our older members in a very short time frame. And this could have been complications after COVID hit. It could have been many things, to be honest. But we lost a lot of people. We lost our vice president even. And then we lost our historian. We lost so many people around the same time. And the media department did suffer as well. People had to take over roles that they weren't prepared for, and a photographer was needed. I felt like I could do it, and I applied. And I must have been the first one to apply because after giving examples of my work, I got the job. And I've been their photographer for 2 years now, I think. I want to say 2 years. It might be closer to 3 now, but around that time.
Okay. Have you have any pictures that you've taken in general that you absolutely love? And can you describe it?
Oh yeah, I've taken a lot of photos that I just love to look at. The Civil War photos are always fun to do because we have a Civil War train, and my favorite picture is of Engine 25, which is our railway's flagship engine, and it is going through a plume of cannon smoke. And I actually recreated that this year with Engine 532 with the cannon smoke effect. And it doesn't look as good as the original, but I'm glad that I was able to capture that kind of majesty twice. And obviously it's next to the Whitewater Valley Canal, and it's just a beautiful place. So I get a lot of good nature shots. I love taking nature photos in my spare time. And yeah, there's just a ton of good photos, but those are the ones that like stick out the most to me.
Okay. So if you like in taking nature photos, will you say you're more in favor of nature or like what's it called? Suburban? Rural areas or urban? Like,
I think it just depends on which place you go. I mean, I have taken photos in suburban neighborhoods, apartment complexes, out in the country, parks and stuff, and of course the railroad. And I think as long as there's something worth looking at, you can get a good photo out of it. You may have, but sometimes you might just have to just get lucky. I know that right before we moved from the apartments, I got a photo of a sunset over a picket fence in the backyard of the apartments. You could see a hotel that's under construction in the photo, but the sun was beautiful, and it's a gorgeous photo despite the fact that there's an eyesore but I think you don't actually even notice it that well.
But to be fair, that's good when it comes to construction, because technically when the sun sets, especially with that portion in your life, because you were leaving, so the sun's setting on that life for you, but that construction is a new beginning for someone else.
Yeah, and that's kind of it's interesting. I mean, it was a hotel, it wasn't anything.
True.
But if anything, it's a say of, hey, we're going to be here for you when you come back temporarily. But
temporarily leave from Minneapolis.
Yeah, but yeah, it's photography. You can photography it is no substitute for experiencing it in real life. And if you're going to just go someplace to get a photo and not experience it, then there's no point. Yeah, you might make a couple bucks, which I don't even do that. I get no money. I do my services free. But if you're not going to experience life around you before you capture it, then there's no point. Yeah, you're going to find moments where you're going to want to capture them in that second, and that's fine, but make sure to appreciate it afterwards.
Yeah, because you can't be living in the camera, or else you're going to be solely living in that one little pixelated segment that is like half the quality of real life.
Yeah, and that is, to be fair, that is the dangers of what we both do, is that we work on both sides of the camera, and while we can appreciate while we're on this side, when we're on the other side of the camera, we could easily lose sight of what's important.
Yeah.
Even when what we're supposed to be focusing on is in the lens. So.
Yes. Because you start focusing on the angles, the framing, trying to get the colors right and all that. That's when you know, oh.
Yeah. And this kind of goes to show you how like loose I am on this. The most work I will do with my camera before taking a photo, especially since I'm at the railroad and I don't have always a chance to modify it, is maybe a little bit of zoom and the exposure, because I do have a camera exposure issue. It keeps flashing itself. but yeah, that's the only things I will modify on my camera, and a lot of times I will get my best photos on my phone. A camera is good, but when these things are like some of the best cameras out there, it's.
I mean, I cannot disagree with you. The good portion of me starting one media was with phones. Mm-hmm. And I was able to maximize an iPhone 10 to beat web cameras in cinema contests at college. So
yeah,
that's the 10th time you've done a lap.
Can't you tell we live on a loop?
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, just in general, it's all about knowing your tech. Yeah. Learning its little quirks and stuff like that.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like if it's meant to be a good photo, your camera will do 99% of the work for you. Because, yeah, you can try to color match it, you can try to red eye it or whatever. You could crop it to get rid of anything unsavory. And I have done 2 of those. I never understood red eye. But at the same time, most of the time I find that it ends up ruining the photo. Not exactly cropping it. Cropping it's fine. It just puts more focus and gets rid of some background. That's fine. But like color correcting and stuff like that is, depending on what you're doing, is rough. I can understand in nighttime shoots maybe, but that's...
Well, again, this is when our 2 things differ. Video, color grading is necessary.
Right.
For the most part. Photo, 50-50. Depends on what type of setting you have, a wall or with some type of log or LED.
Yeah.
That really determines if color grading is neat or not. If it's wall, most likely you need to color grade. At least from my experience.
Yeah. And the cameraman just shook his head yes to that.
The man off screen.
Yeah.
But
who is he? No one knows.
This is the no guy in the video, man.
Yeah. Typical day. Typical day.
Typical day indeed. But will you say in general terms, you do love your job as a photographer?
It's nice. I won't say it's not had its ups and downs. I've had a lot of times where I felt like the shots are getting repetitive. I felt like there's not much I can photo that doesn't, and sometimes like a car will get in the way, or people, passengers even. So sometimes the photos are harder to really come by, and sometimes you only have one chance, and it's a shame when you miss it. But
yeah,
I mean that's life.
That's indeed life.
That's just life.
I mean, again, video's different.
Yeah.
I could technically rewind or redo a take, but sometimes I do.
Yeah.
But then you get situations like this where you have to.
Yeah, and that's the difference. A video that is scripted and planned, yeah, stuff will go wrong, but you can reshoot. Stuff that happens out there, and especially for photoing, is sometimes it's a one and done.
You gotta make it work.
Yeah.
Or scrap it.
Yeah, and it's happened to me multiple times. I've run out of time to get to a location fast enough. I've locations I planned to shoot at didn't go through. It's a lot of stuff like that.
Cut?
Yeah.
Sorry, editor.
He's not.
Oh, I know. I just have to say I'm sorry so he doesn't like do something stupid. Because he is vengeful when he wants to be. But anyways. To talk about other forms of media.
Yeah.
I just want to ask one question, and I know you're about to slap me.
Okay.
YouTube channel.
I'm not going to slap you, but I'm going to ask you to be very careful with what you say.
In the future, what type of videos or photography work you want to do for your YouTube channel?
Well, photography work, it's not for the YouTube channel. That's personal or for the railroad. I don't want to do a photo collage for YouTube. That's just the laziest form of video.
Fair.
When it comes, unless it's stop motion people, you're great. That's hard craft. And it's a dying craft, so I really appreciate it. But when it comes to what kind of content I want to make for my own YouTube channel, that's always been up in the air. I've always wanted to do my own series based off the Thomas characters, which under parody laws you can. But at the same time, a lot of risks come with that nowadays, especially since YouTube's copyright regulations, instead of enforcing the age restrictions that YouTube naturally should have and send all the kids to YouTube Kids, now anything flagged with Thomas is a risk. And it can be something as small as just the Thomas and Friends logo appearing in the video for any reason, even if it's not anything to do with Thomas. It's a case of sometimes that will cause the video to be flagged. Hell, I hope me talking about this doesn't cause this video to be flagged.
It shouldn't.
But, yeah, and sadly, a lot of people see certain trigger words, and when I mean people, I mean robots. It's pretty much universally known at this point that YouTube AI generates these made for kids stuff, forms and things, and yeah. And like I said, I want to make my own little series. I've even got some scripts written for it, and I have an idea of how to do some filming, but I don't know if that will ever end out coming out. And the other series, which me and my friend are planning to do, we want to do filming for it because we've done a lot of hard work. We made models for it and stuff like that. But at the same time, it may become just an audio drama because it might just be easier to do that. That won't be on my channel, though. That will be on a separate channel. As for other general content, as you know, I've done pretty much everything. I haven't done video reactions because I just don't think it's worth it for me. I'm too into just watch it, and that's it for me. But I've done toy reviews, terrible ones, but I did them. We've been doing drink reviews mainly on your channel, but now that's bleeding over to mine, and food stuff, just general everyday life stuff. I've done a lot of this stuff, random video ideas, and will I ever have a set, what my channel will be? I really don't know. I kind of doubt I ever will. It's going to, because I don't, not to be rude, but what people watch is not my business. I film what I want to film. It'll be random. It'll be funny most of the time. And if I enjoy it, then that's all that matters to me on that. Because, yeah, fans are important. They really are. But if you're not enjoying it, then what's the point?
Yeah. I mean, it took me years to finally find my core niches, I can say.
Yeah.
The reaction to the channels I can actually improv to and like, while the audience respecting it.
Yeah.
My goofy videos, my travel videos, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and can we talk about that real quick? About how almost all the, like most popular reaction video series you have is stuff I suggested for you to watch.
To be fair, we grew up on similar humor takes.
Yeah, but it's like HFIL, Devil Artemis, Kedigarus, rewatching Hell of a Boss because you actually gave up on it, Pants a Hat. All of those have become some of the most biggest comedy, and heck, even the George Carlin videos back then. Before
a random channel completely destroyed me on those.
Yeah, and I mean, I did also get you on the Ruby stuff, but at the same time, you were still starting out, and you would film that a lot differently nowadays.
Oh, hell yeah. I would have been more comedic than more...
Yeah.
Than more serious like I was trying to be.
Yeah, and I don't know if he'll have reacted to a new one by the time this video comes out, but he's bringing back the Pants a Hat videos.
Oh, I will.
He's bringing them back. I had a full-on argument with him about why he should, and he's like, yeah, you right. And he's already upset because he's missed out on that Indiana Jones clout, so...
Yes.
And the like best character ever introduced.
Mm-hmm. It was just a choice I made because I kept getting disliked and it was slowly damaging my channel, and I'm like, I have to make a choice.
And then you realized you should take my own.
Wrong.
You should have taken my advice and said, "Fuck, I'm making this. I like this shit." Mm-hmm. And obviously, there's other stuff I've been trying to recommend to you, and obviously, stuff like Ultraman Z and stuff that. It has to be like a retrospective video. It can't be a reaction. And I still want you to watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Yeah. Because, especially since you're watching HFIL, which happens after. And since you like Devil Artemis, you're going to like DBZA. But we'll get there. That's a guarantee, by the way. I will get him to react to that. He's got 60-ish episodes. Some of them have multiple parts.
Gotcha.
And like 4 abridged episodes and like a handful of movies. He can get through it.
Yeah. Maybe I can get started on my birthday live stream.
Yeah. You can probably knock out most of the first season in that.
Alright. But I was just curious.
Yeah.
In video, in a calmer format, not making serious jokes.
Yeah.
Because I do want you to do it, but I understand and respect your reasoning.
Yeah.
So, with that, going over to probably the next stage.
Okay.
Which is, what are some of your favorite YouTubers or series?
Well, a lot of the favorite YouTubers and series I've introduced you to. Obviously, like Devil Artemis, Pants a Hat, Team 4-Star. They're all great. VTubers. I'm a big fan of certain VTubers. Like, the most recent one added to that list is Henya, the genius. She quickly became one of my favorites, like, overnight. She's got chaotic energy that I can understand. Haruka Caribou's also good. There are other... there are a few more... As you know, I'm a train guy, so there's a few channels that just watch trains. There are a few Thomas channels, believe it or not. The Thomas the Tank Engine community on YouTube is honestly impressive. There is some very high production and high effort videos made. Like Wild Nor'Wester's series, he's making episodes now, even still. Enterprise Engine 93, another classic one. I still watch both of them. I've fallen out of some Thomas Tubers. They're, unfortunately, people change, and not in the good way. Some people sell out, other people just really start showing how much they care more about the subscriber count more than the subscribers. And yeah, I get it. Making videos that are going to rather purposely enrage people to get more views or stuff is popular, but there's a line. And there's some people that have just crossed that line. Fun fact, I know he's a great guy. I know he's a great guy. And I've seen a little bit of his work, and I know what he's done, and he's a good person. I do not like watching Markiplier. And it's just that he's not for me. Is he funny? Yeah. I've laughed a few times at him. But at the same time, I don't know. His humor is not for me. And again, that's not because of him as a person. He's a great person from what I've seen. But yeah. So, I'm not really a big fan of a lot of the bigger YouTubers. There's very few YouTubers I have following that are over 1 million. Even less that are like over 1 million. So, a lot of smaller YouTubers, which honestly support the little YouTubers. They need it. I mean, heck, I'm technically still there, but I know I follow some YouTubers that only have like 5 or 6 subscribers. And they're some of the funniest people I've seen, so.
Honestly, a lot of small creators in general need support.
Yeah.
Especially with YouTube ever changing rules, changing the recommendations, like the 500 subscriber change, which completely threw me off guard. And just in general terms. I try to hunt for small channels.
Yeah.
At least to watch them. I also have a series that I'm going to get back to eventually, reacting to a random subscriber.
Yeah.
Giving them feedback so they can improve their content and stuff like that.
Yeah. If you when and if you actually get to my channel on that roulette wheel of yours, you're gonna have to react to one of our videos and just completely commodify that thing. Because
that's one of my things I'm gonna do.
Because you already know my content. You know I don't give a shit. So you might as well make fun of both of us.
But that's just a rule I have. If it's someone I actually know, it'd be a comedic criticism. But
getting back to stuff I watch on YouTube, history is a big one on me. A lot of disaster documentaries and horror stories from amusement rides, train crashes, plane crashes, shows like Mayday air disasters, and an old classic favorite of mine, Rescue 911, are both like really good examples. And overall, I know Mayday gets a lot of good publicity, but if you haven't seen it yet, go look up Rescue 911. It's an old show, but it's really good. And you can see most of the episodes on YouTube. And then there's like other stuff that is just more like interesting and how it works, like Monster Moves, where they move giant Titanic challenges, like grain silos completely whole, and old Victorian houses, even steam locomotives. And it's incredible how these movements go. These people work really hard.
Yeah. Let's get just a tad bit morbid.
Okay.
What is your most interesting let me just say that. What is your most interesting disaster? The thing that caught you the most?
That one is a tough one. Because I can base that on based on a different topic here. Like, one of the ones I rewatched the most is an episode of Mayday, and it was it was about a FedEx plane that they had a jump seater, which a jump seater is a crew member or an employee that is not on the crew that day, but can get a free ride to wherever they need to go. Their jump seater had maliciously made a plan to murder or do a suicide attack on his own crew and get the insurance money from his death for his kids. He was thwarted, and it is one of the most heartening things I've ever watched, because I know it's just a recreation of what actually happened. But when you talk to the people, because they actually got the actual pilots to come and talk about it, you realize how bad it really was for them. I mean, yeah, their lives were in danger. This man tried to take over the plane, but that one sticks with me. And there are other ones, like there's a train disaster that happened before the inauguration of a president, and that completely destroyed a station floor. It was nobody dead, luckily, but could have been a huge disaster on inauguration weekend with people coming into the city. And heck, even amusement park rides have had horror stories. There's a horror story of a river rapids ride in Australia, and that one is dark, which is not something dark river rapids ride. You know, the same one basically the same type as the one we ride at Dollywood. Those rides are some of the safest in any park, and they somehow managed to make one a killer. And this is the same place that owned Wiggles World, so that's dark. Toot toot chugga chugga, big red car, it's painted in blood. That's morbid. That's a very morbid joke. I'm sorry, but
it's all good.
That was actually upsetting for me, and it's hard for me to do that. But yeah,
my thing was it was too smooth.
It was too smooth.
That's what got me.
Yeah, toot toot chugga chugga, it's painted in blood.
We both had said off camera.
By the way, speaking of the Wiggles, if and when I get 100 subs, I'm going to force him to dance the hot potato dance with me.
Yep.
I might force the cameraman too, we'll see. It's not like it's the hardest thing to learn.
Yeah, it's just more
finding a cover of the song is harder.
Yeah.
That will be copyrighted the hell and back.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we'll figure it out.
If we have to do some type of 8-bit thing, we will do it that way.
We'll figure it out. You have minor piano experience. It's not that hard of a song.
Yeah, just give me the music and give me a month and I will try to get it out.
Yeah. But anyway, that's in the future.
Future us to discuss. I
kind of hope that it does die out so we can use that stupid technical difficulties. This is even cut out. I don't care.
Yeah, but all of this I figure I would cut out.
Yeah.
Now to get back to where we were.
Yeah.
Disaster. Okay. Wait, before you go back to where you were. Sorry. Yeah, give you time to quickly adjust.
Yeah.
You're going for an even look.
That's not gonna work. That might work. You know, his camera might actually catch that more.
Yeah, that's good. Drive to. Just.
You know what? It's fine. Doesn't matter.
Just fuck it.
At this point, if they made it this far into the video / podcast, because it's going to be both, they're in it for the long haul. They shouldn't bug them.
Yeah.
And if it does, we somehow lost them.
Hold on, I'll fix it. Hey everyone, this jump cut has happened. We were discussing how dark it's getting. We don't care. Just expect these lights to be in frame.
Yeah.
We're sorry, but not really. Okay.
It's YouTube, not ESPN. Chill.
Yeah.
It's free.
It is free. Just like our sponsor.
No.
Hey, are you having trouble breathing?
Yeah.
Has your house been engulfed in smoke and or fire and you can't get a breath of fresh air? Well, I have the product for you. It is air.
What?
Breathe it in.
Wow.
Yeah, do you know how you get air?
How?
You yell at a cloud.
Ah!
And you get it for free.
Free?
Absolutely free. Even the shipping is free.
Even the shipping?
Even the shipping.
Well, can I order?
It's free?
You just yell at the cloud.
Ah!
Buy air today. Air is not trademarked because I can't trademark air, even though I'm pretty sure another roller coaster tried that. Breathe it in and try our new tire air.
You finally got it.
Yeah, now you can definitely pay the technical difficulties right here.
Eventually, we'll make a proper commercial for that. That is on our list of things to do, is a proper air commercial.
Honestly, the three of us need to, well, you already got yours. The two of us have to think of some random BS.
Call 1-800-BIG-GULP.
Water. It won't kill you. If you use it properly, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, it's flashing red.
All right.
Okay, time for our technical difficulties.
Yeah. Commercial and then...
Yeah, literally, right after the commercial. That's perfect.
All right. Well, camera died. But you still got one more.
Yeah.
But we also are battling against the sun, so I don't know how long it's going to last.
Yeah. This is just typical. Every time I show up, I ruin something.
No. This is not ruined. It's natural.
Oh.
This is just how we are.
Yeah, this is pretty much any of our collabs on either of our channels. We were hoping the professional video would be better, but...
We did 30 minutes pretty good. That's a record for us.
That is kind of impressive. I think that's only because you talked about trains, though, and that's like, oh.
That's like your thing.
Yeah, that is my thing. I am the guy that in high school put, if a train freak can do it, so can you, on the wall in the auditorium. To be fair, we had permission to do that.
So he didn't commit no crime.
Yeah.
Nice try, Karen. I know you.
Can we talk about that too real quick?
Yes.
The fact that I hate that people that are like snobby or rude to people are called Karen. I will let you know, I had an Aunt Karen. She was the sweetest lady. She did charity balls. She did Halloween parties. She was awesome. And so now every time I hear the word Karen, I am getting infuriated because it's like I knew a Karen and she was a sweetheart and she died of breast cancer and it just bugs me. Can we have a hashtag stop Karen culture? Thank you.
I mean, we can try, but
it's not going to work.
Gen Z here.
It's not going to work. But can we try? I don't use Twitter. He don't use Twitter.
Fuck Twitter.
But yeah, spread that hashtag around. Cancel Karen culture. Come up with a new word for it. How about Charlene?
Nope, we can't use that one.
Oh darn.
Wait, I think we got one that we can look. It starts with an L and ends with an A.
That could go either way.
Yeah. 50-50 on that one. We won't say it. We will discuss it later.
Yeah. Maybe a Brenda.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
But anyways. Getting back
to be fair, I'm sorry to any Brendas, Lorettas, and or whatever else I said. I do apologize. And honestly, anyone should not have to be called their name as a slanderous term. And no one should. but it happens.
It's merely jokes that sometimes go too far or get overused.
Yeah. Unless you're a hunter, because George Carlin's already said, fuck you.
Yeah.
And his word is law.
Indeed. In this household, in this family, George Carlin is law.
No Kyle.
Fuck Kyles.
Fuck Kyle. Sorry, Kyle. I don't know a Kyle, but sorry.
I know too many of them. And one of them will be in my dorm, so that's going to be fun. If he ever watches it.
Also, sorry to any hunters, but again, it's law.
Yeah.
Speaking
of George Carlin, since you introduced me to him.
Okay.
Will you give a general opinion on him? Since you...
I fucking love him. And he changed how everyone sees comedy. And for good reason, he changed media laws. There was a law created because of him in media, so... And let's not forget to mention that he was Mr. Conductor on Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yes.
You know, the good one. I mean, don't get me wrong, Ringo was good, but George was better. And let's be honest, we're pretty sure Alec Baldwin was high the entire time he did it, so...
Well, the sun is coming down.
The sun is coming down, and so must this interview.
Indeed. So, the last question.
Okay.
If Steven Spielberg came to you and said, I'm going to make a movie about your life, and you get to choose the title of that film, what would it be called?
Well, first I ask, who the fuck are you, but... I know who Steven Spielberg is, but I really have not watched much of his work.
Okay.
A movie about my life. It would never happen. But I really don't have one. I don't think my life is ever going to be worth a movie. I don't even think it's worth a book, to be honest. Maybe some VTuber anecdotes. If I can ever become a VTuber, I might do some VTuber anecdotes. I got those, but... my life is just mellow. It's not really interesting. It doesn't have too much extreme drama. Well, every family's got drama, but affecting me personally, there's only like 2 or 3 stories, and they're not really that interesting worth a movie going over it, so... I don't know. The non-existent movie. That's the movie title. The non-existent movie.
Okay.
My life is just there. I'm funny. I know I am. And I know I'm likable. I'm a fucking adorable person. But it's just... Yeah, I don't see myself ever really in the role for a movie.
Okay.
So, the non-existent movie. Starring nobody. So, starring nobody but our cameraman.
Yeah, the cameraman always has to be in it. He always survives.
Yeah. Who's going to direct this movie? I don't know. You said Steven Spielberg, but I think he'd be bored. I don't know. Maybe I would say Michael Bay, but he would just fill it with explosions.
Tits.
And tits. And Budweiser.
Yeah.
And got milk.
Yes. All right. Anything you want to shout out before we end this for real?
Yeah. Sure. Shout out to the Whitewater Valley Railroad for allowing me to be their head photographer and for not getting rid of me yet. That's always appreciated. Thank you to my family that has been very supportive of me over these couple of years. Thank you for joining me in a lot of our videos, and I know I've given back as much as you've given to me on the videos, but it's awesome that we can still do this and we can work off each other pretty well.
We got multiple years of experience understanding each other.
Yeah, and I mean, in case you guys didn't know, we grew up together basically 3 streets away. We're close. We always have been. Yeah, and thank you for watching. If you've really made it this far, and I honestly don't know how you managed it. Just thank you. I hope you find this interesting. And rule of thumb, I never ask people to subscribe to my channel. I don't think it's ever going to be worth it for me to say that. And I don't feel comfortable saying it. Other people have said it for me, but if you want to subscribe, go ahead. If you don't, all good. I'm happy with it. And I'm not going to talk about the bullshit about liking and adding notification bell. The notification bell don't work anyway, and the like button is useless now. I only use the like button to add videos to a playlist. And YouTube broke the playlist button.
Yes.
And they've added stupid end cards on top of the end cards, which are not skippable. And they make it where on your phone, you can't exit out until you start the video again, and then you can exit out. YouTube, get your shit together. Remove all the bullshit you've added in the last year and a half. And finally enforce your fucking COPA laws and remove all the kid channels and enforce the YouTube Kids is for content just for kids. YouTube Proper content for anybody, and it should be able to be commented on.
Yes. All right.
Will they listen to me? No, but
they won't even listen to me.
Will they ban this video? Possibly. We have no idea. It's actually very likely. We've probably screwed ourselves.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. Normally I would end this with a segue of here's a compilation of every time Wall Street's gotten hit in the nuts with a flying shoe, but
Not again.
but that's Editor San has already gone through a lot in this one video.
Peace.
Goodbye, everyone. Until next time, whenever that is, I don't know. My upload schedule is shit.